Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Fantasy 420, where today we are going to be continuing our dive into the Fantasy Baseball 2019 season with the outfield position. This is going to be part one of a multi-series video, as outfield takes up a lot of people, and I'm going to need multiple videos to get through it. I'm not sure if it's going to be two or three, but this is going to be part one, and it's going to resemble the shortstop video in the sense where it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be talking about early round players and people you should be buying into. And as always, we're going to be using the fantasypros.com aggregate rankings for the rankings of our players. I don't know which platform you're going to be using, so you can base it off of that and go from there. So the first players we're going to be discussing today are the top three players I have in terms of overall rank, and they're all outfielders. Mike Trout, kind of no introduction, don't need to dive into him. Mookie Betts, I would have him too behind Trout and above Martinez. He is a little bit riskier on the home runs and the batting average than Trout. As his 2017, he only hit 24 home runs and batted 264, just a little bit more risk. That's why I'd have him at number two. And at number three, I'd have in JD Martinez, just a little bit more injury risk involved with him. But he missed 40 games in 2017 and 2016. But that being said, the dude is sure to mash 40 home runs, hit for average, RBIs, and runs. So I would pick him at number three. I think he's a really safe pick in the middle of that heart of the Boston Red Sox order. So 1, 2, 3, pick them. I would not feel hesitant at all if any of them drop past there. Automatic, easy selection. The first guy we're going to be diving into is Ronald Acuna. He is number 9 at Fantasy Pros. Everyone in this range is a really great fantasy player. So you're kind of splitting hairs and picking who you want to choose from when you talk about players in this range. I just am really buying into Acuna this year. This is going to be his first full season after 111 games last year. And last year, his game and per plate averages, he was a monster. He had 78 runs, 26 homers, 64 RBIs, 16 stolen bases, and batted 293. That was his season one at 20 years old. He's a former top prospect. I'm just buying into him. I'm picking him and not looking back. If he slides at all because people are worried that he's so young or anything, I would just take him. Just take him and don't look back. Shoot your shot. Everything's trending up. The team is trending up. He's with a lot of younger guys. He's going to be hitting at third or fourth. So just take him, buy into him. He could hit that top three if he hits his potential. So top three overall player. So I would just take him, be happy with him, ride the wave. The next guy we're going to be talking about is Bryce Harper. He is currently Fantasy Pros number 16th player. And check the site for this guy. At Yahoo today, he was at 21 right before I did the video, and that is really juicy. I mean, you could get him and pair him with possibly Mike Trout, and then you could really have just a really fun team. He's going to be happy wherever he signs. Most likely that's Philadelphia. And that would be a huge boon to his fantasy value, hitting in that park and hitting around that talent. But he's kind of like Machado, where no matter where he signs, he's choosing to sign there. He's going to make a ton of money and he's going to be happy. So he's just a first-round player, I believe, in terms of talent. And you're getting a little bit of a discount because of his poor season last year in terms of average, but his other peripherals were really good. So I would buy into him and not look back once again. Even if you're at the end of the first round and you wanted to reach a little bit to take him in terms of the site, I wouldn't even blame you. I would buy into him. Aaron Judge, he is the 17th ranked player. And once again, he's a first round talent like Harper. He's a little bit of a discount because of injury concerns. His body has been not seen to hold up too well to a whole major league season so far. He was limited last season, and that kind of busted your team, especially at the end of the year, which was a bummer. But once again, I just believe in the talent. His huge, monstrous body. He's age 27. He's going to be hitting at the top four of that powerful Yankees lineup, which I've said is going to be a World Series contender. And if you believe in the talent, or if he slips, I think you got to take him. Number 17, you're getting a slight discount, and I do believe he will hit a lot closer to 2017's 50 plus home runs, and I would pull the trigger right there and just take the good talent in the Beast lineup. And his buddy Giancarlo Stanton, he's being picked at number 19, and just like the previous guys I've mentioned, had a little bit of an underwhelming 2018 off of his absolute monstrous 2017, and that's why he was being picked in the first round. But there's going to be a lot of people who are souring on him. He's only had one season where he's hit over 40 home runs, so that's sowing a lot of doubt in a lot of people's minds. And he's going to fall on a few draft boards, and once again, I would take him. I believe in the talent. He's just a monster. He's going to be another season comfortable in that Yankees lineup. That team is going to contend, like I've said ad nauseum, and I would just buy into the Yankees and Stanton there. I think he's going to have a lot of multi-home run games. He's going to post a little bit. He's going to post closer to 2017's value than 2018's value, and I would buy into him. You're not going to be able to pitch around him with all the players they have there. So go ahead and take Giancarlo. The two next players that I'm going to end the video on, who I really, really like and I think provide amazing value in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Charlie Blackmon, he's Fantasy Pros 22nd ranked player. Once again, with Stanton, I feel like there's going to be a lot of players who fantasy players who sour on him from last season going forward. He was a little bit underwhelming, but once again, he was the number 1 ranked player on a lot of sites overall in 2017. His 2017 was monstrous. So with that underwhelming 2018 in retrospect, which was still good, it was just not as good in terms of where you picked him, which was the front of the first round most likely. He had a good season overall, and I am buying into Colorado as a team. I'm not willing to say they're going to upset the Dodgers yet. I think the Dodgers still have a great lineup and great pitching, but I do think the Rockies have up-and-coming 3 young pitchers, and they have a great lineup too, and it would not surprise me at all if they did upset the Dodgers and take that division, and the Dodgers had a little bit of a upset season. I do think they will finish number 2 and most likely make the playoffs, the Rockies that is, and that means I'm buying into Blackmon. He's going to hit leadoff. He's going to provide you a great floor, and that ceiling is probably not, it could be number 1 in fantasy, but it's top of the first round value. So I don't see how he doesn't produce the value at number 2 or most likely exceed it. So I would definitely take him anywhere close to 22. And the guy I'm going to end the video on is my boy from last year, Juan Soto. I had him in a few of my leagues. He is most likely going to see Bryce Harper leave, so that's also going to take a little bit of pressure off of him, but he's also going to have to produce just as much as he did last season, and that was on par with Ronald Acuna. So, I mean, you're getting Juan Soto's Ronald Acuna value at 2 or 3 rounds later. So I would definitely buy into him. He's going to be their new franchise player. And then if the Nationals do happen to re-sign Harper, he's still going to hit at the heart of that order. He's still a cornerstone, and he's going to produce around like he did last year, except the whole season's load. So buy into Soto and buy into all those guys I just mentioned. It's going to be a fun first few rounds going forward with the outfield. And I will end the video on the fact that I have done a few mock drafts going forward, and I would definitely try to get one of those guys on my team in the first 4 rounds. If you don't, your outfield is going to look a lot worse than the other players' outfields, even if you reach to get like three in a row to shore it up. Their other outfields are just going to look a lot more talent heavy, and if somebody ends up with two of them, and they can end up with a lot of the later round sleepers in the other positions that I mentioned, I think they're going to be well ahead of you. So I would definitely try to get at least one of those guys in the first 4 rounds. Hopefully one of the top heavy guys. So that's all I'm going to have for today, guys. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow with another video. Take it easy.